Some of this stuff we're going to go through really quickly on this explanation because some of it's just real simple and self-explanatory. But a few of the moves are kind of complex, so I want to make sure I have a little instructional period for the follow-along video. The first one here, we're going to talk about, centering yourself properly. You want to be, with your feet perpendicular to each other like this, not splayed out like a lot of people do, at least for, this particular starting exercise. Furthermore, you don't want your weight more on one side or the other. Just try and find where you feel centered. And then forward and back. Don't be on the balls of your feet. Don't be on the heels. Find the center. Then you're going to naturally center. You're going to tuck your tailbone just slightly so you have a light bend in your knees. And have your arms up. Relax at the sides. And try to imagine like you're holding an egg between your armpits. So that's going to let them be kind of loose and free. And what we're going to do here is we're going to turn the hips. And look, see, when I turn my hips, when I'm really relaxed, everything else kind of follows, including the spine and the shoulders and everything. And all we're doing is reversing directions. The only thing that's actually creating momentum here is my hips rotating at the beginning. I'm here, my hips start, my hips switch. I can do it really intensely, but I want you to do it intensely. It's not good. Not when you haven't done it for a while, not really used to it. So we're just doing a light thing right here. It's really good stimulation for the hips, kind of warm them up and wake them up, but you're also getting fluid into your entire spine, which is going to make it really good when you want to move your spine in a twisty direction. I realize that wasn't good form. I'm not a golfer. After that, do big circles, rotating the hips each way. Then we do small little circles, rotating just the sacrum each way. We rotate the knees each way. With the knees, you might want to come a little more closer. You have a slightly wider shoulder width for the other movements, but the knees come a little closer, so you're not putting extra pressure on them when you rotate. Rotate the ankles, hold the golf club here, get yourself balanced. Rotate your ankles each way, okay? We're going to rotate our shoulders. This one, you want to make sure you keep your shoulders about shoulder width apart. You're coming up, inhaling as you come up. Once you get to the top, you rotate your arms out and exhale going down. You want to imagine as if the movement's coming from your chest, from your heart center, rather than from your arms. Because your arms, this part at least, isn't moving. Your shoulders and these parts of your body are what's really working here. So you want to imagine it's emanating outward from your center. Inhaling and exhaling. The breath following the movement, and the movement following the breath. This is it in reverse. You really feel your shoulder blades having to move and glide to do this. It's a great warm-up for them. From there, we'll go into small circles. We're going to go into a kind of a complex multi-item thing here that just saves time. But, you can do it, in pieces if it's easier. It's kind of like having to do this. It can be a little complex at first. What we're going to do is rotate our hands and focusing on the elbow joint here being rotated while we rotate our head. Do them in the same area. Don't try and go faster with one. If you go the same speed, it'll be easier. And then also rotate your eyeballs following the same direction. This stretches out lots of different ligaments that connect in the area, so it's useful to do. It kind of puts you in a bit of a trance, honestly, with the eyeball movement involved. Do that each way. And then we go right into just doing figure eights with our fingertips. And then we knead the dough, which is a separate action. Then we'll go into some warm-ups further for the actual forearm. We're going to start with a isolated stretch with contraction. By activating this side of the arm, it makes this side of the arm deactivate more so you get a better stretch. And also having the fist close, it's stretching these ligaments even farther. So what we're going to do is a tight fist, about 80% of your natural strength, and then you stretch in that direction. Once you achieve your maximum stretch, you slowly back out of it while maintaining the wrist tension. Once you come neutral here, you open your fingers and flay them out as much as possible, and then you do the reverse, going this way. Maintaining that extended position, you come down. When you reach neutral, you relax and make the fist again, and you come this way. This is going to get amazing blood flow into your forearms, which will be really good to warm up for a golf game. course, when you're doing it, you're going to want to save time. So you're going to do both at the same time. I would just isolate it into one in the beginning while you get used to it, but easily you can do it both at the same time. 3 times each way is more than enough. You can do a little more if you want to, but in the beginning, do less, because you're still getting used to this. From there, we're going to go into some specialized stretches for the whole forearm. This one, you start by putting your thumb right underneath your ring finger knuckle. And then your fingers are grabbing the hand on the other side, because we're going to rotate the wrist. How we do that, though, is in a light, gentle way. You put your hands close to your heart, and then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale going down, it'll naturally rotate. You don't have to force it. Just having this position, this grip on your hand, will naturally rotate the hand as you bring it down. Don't go to an extreme degree, just enough to feel a light stretch. Hold it for a few seconds, no more than 10, probably about 5 is good. And then inhale again, coming out. Shake it if you need to, and then you do the other side. But we want to stretch the wrist in every rotational direction. So next we're going to grab it with our middle finger and thumb, and then just with your elbows up, keeping a parallel line, you just exhale down. Hold for a few, and inhale up. You do this for both sides, and then we go into another rotational stretch, which we can grab it this way. So you're just having a straight, rigid hand and grabbing here, and the palm clasps the back. The thumb can just kind of hang out here as you just relax the arm being grabbed, and then as the other arm relaxes, let it rotate back, rotating the hand. So it looks something like this. Again, don't do it to an extreme degree. Shake out as often as you need in between. Even if it's each hand you shake out in between. I like to do sets of each and shake out, but it really depends on how you're feeling that day. Next, just some stretches for the hand. Generic stuff that you see people do all the time. Thumb can be separate. This one's really good too, because it keeps the elbow straightened, so anything coming across the elbow now has a little bit more of a stretch. Stretching each finger individually, or all together like this. In the follow-along video, I think we're just going to use this one, not this one. Now that we've stretched all the way out, forearms, we're going to come back into doing some good back stuff. Back rotational stuff, and opening of your lumbar, so you can really get the most out of your spine when you're going for a swing. We're going to start with reaching up, inhale, and just exhale down. Really letting the lumbar open up. Then you just inhale up, rolling up. Exhale at the top though here, reaching up as you exhale, and you can go on your tippy toes too if that feels comfortable for you, but stay within a natural balance, don't fall over. Don't go up on your toes if you don't feel balanced doing it. Over time, you build natural strength in it, and you will naturally be able to, but in the beginning, don't force it. After doing that, we do the same thing, but now we add some rotation. Start on one side, stretching, inhale, exhale. This you can allow your feet to be planted at different angles for, just because it's going to be more comfortable for your knees. So as you'll notice, I'm actually moving my feet as I come across here. Then I inhale up. And exhale at the top. Inhale as I rotate and turn. Do it again. We would normally do 3 rotations one way and then the other, but I think you get the point. And in the follow-along video, I'll do both. Next, we're going to move into... This next one's really good. It's kind of intense though, so don't overdo it. You might want to actually warm up your back after doing that last bit. Doing some of these, light tapping, little circles are good too, all the way down to the sacrum and up through the lumbar. Sometimes you'll need to do that in between sets of this next one especially, because it's kind of intense there. but it's a great opener. But if you have a lot of tightness in the things we're going to be opening here, it can affect kind of some pain on the lower back as you do it. So don't do this as intensely as I do this. Don't lean as far if you can't, but just kind of feel it naturally. We have one foot in front, planted in front. I think I might have etched up on there a bit. So one foot in front, other one back here, staying protected. And what we're going to do is put our hands on our lower back, inhale, and exhale, leaning back, just stretching out, but then coming towards the foot that's in the front, moving the foot as necessary so you don't hurt the knee, and then going down. So it's this kind of motion coming back, around, down, but you're breathing through it and getting a good stretch. So it's, went a little far there. So when we do that each way, just make sure not to overdo it. I don't want you falling on this, but it's really, really, really great stretch. And you can rotate your feet through it a little bit. Just be kind to your knees. When in doubt, be kind to your knees when doing something like this. And don't overstretch your back. But it's great to work into. The last one is the most complex. Save the best for last. And we're actually stretching the whole tendon by rotating and then reaching out while locked in a rotation. So it's stretching out the rotational ability of everything in this area, but we're reaching and stretching the opposite opposing direction. So we're basically turning our whole body into a corkscrew as far as our tendons are involved, which is a great stretch for them. But it's a little complex, so I'm gonna break it down to a few parts. So we have a reaching up and out, and reaching back and down. So this hand is down, pushing towards the thumb side, rotating this way. This one is reaching up and rotating out, pointing with a pinky finger. If that wasn't enough already, we're actually going to turn a neck rotation in here too, so you want to look towards the back when you do the stretch. And this foot that's in the ground here, notice it's pointed this way. You want to corkscrew that bad boy into the ground. You're just drilling into the ground, and that's going to have a whole rotational stretch on your hip here at the same time, which will feel a little weird that you're rotating this way and twisting your hip that way. It's going to get a great rotational stretch here. So what we're going to do is it's literally reaching out, reaching back, rotating with the hip. So you do that all at once. It all just kind of happens. And as this happens, you look back and rotate with your shoulders back. Then you inhale, making sure to relax that rotation, that torque. Relax out of that torque. You inhale and you reverse. So now we're doing still always hand up in front, hand down and back, but we're just looking the other direction now. So it's an inhale. Inhale. You want to do like a gradual intensity too. You don't, I'm just exemplifying it at the end, like kind of do a torque to show you what's happening. But really you want it to be kind of a gradual, natural stretch for you. So we're going. This is great for the shoulders. It's great for finishing up some hip rotational openers. You might want to smack your hips on your sides a little bit as you come out of it to really stimulate anything that got a little tense during it. And don't overdo this one. It's a great stretch, but you want to start slow with it. But as you get used to it, especially doing all the warm-ups beforehand up to it, your body should be loose enough to kind of like get into it. If you need to, you can kind of like shake out afterwards, literally just shake everything out. Or beforehand too, you just kind of shake everything out and get your tendons all loose before you do this stretch. Because by getting these tendons loose, it's going to make them nice and malleable to extend and loosen up. After we've done all that, especially doing something really kind of intense, and you shake out a little bit afterwards, we're just kind of like balancing all the tension. right at the end, and do more of these. And like I said, with the follow-on video, it'll be all good to go. Just follow the steps. But I felt it was important to have this one as well to explain the more complex ones. Hope you enjoy.